Folks, welcome to the Skullet Podcast. Whatever you're doing, put your hands down.
No.
Okay,
No,
hold on.
Pick your hands up.
All right, okay, let's try this again. Folks, oh my goodness, welcome to the Skullet Podcast. My name is Ronnie Fleming, and today we're joined by hilarious comedian and actor Aliya Kanani. What's going on?
Chilling, Ronnie. Yeah, very happy to be here. What a beautiful place, I was just saying.
Yes.
Very impressive decor.
Thank you.
I really like the setup. Chairs are comfy.
Uh-huh.
Coffee's warm.
That means a lot coming from you because you and I, we used to be roommates. So now you see, like, I've improved my interior decoration skills.
Leveled up, bro. I'm like, where was this? You know what I mean? Is it like it came with the skullet? Is that what happened?
I do think that my taste has improved as my hair has grown. I think now I have an appreciation of the finer things.
I feel like I want to see you with a cigar soon. Do you know what I mean? I want to see you with like a scotch and a cigar and like
definitely,
saying some misogynist shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you're like 3 steps away from there, and I'm so excited for it.
I think that's coming in. I think maybe by episode 25, 26, I'm gonna have a little ice ball in my scotch.
Yeah,
that takes it to the next level. And then wait till you hear the things that are gonna be coming out of my mouth. Seriously.
Would you want to give us an example?
You got to tune in, Aliya. You got to tune in, you got to subscribe, and you got to comment.
All right, fair.
Speaking of which, folks, please rate, review, and subscribe. But yeah, you haven't seen the Skullet. So before, when you first met me, I was just a bald guy.
You were just a bald guy. You're
and
just
now
like
look at this.
And now, you've got like a whole personality, and there are so many angles to this skullet. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? That's really impressive. I don't even think I've taken it all in.
You want to just see like a 360 view?
Oh, I gotta do.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Worth it.
I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes earlier, there's this really unflattering image of me getting the mic set up and that Tim used as the opening shot, and it's just the top of my head. And I remember once an acting teacher, I was in a commercial acting class, and she's like, "Ronnie, no one wants to see that."
No. So mean.
Yeah. So I had flashbacks of Joanna Bexham. Everybody, that's for 3 people.
Am I going to have to censor that? Because stop saying names that I have to censor every episode.
Joanna Bexham, please. She'd love it. She was Ray Romano's acting coach.
Was she?
And Ronnie Fleming's mostly.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I feel like acting coaches, there's this like caricature image of like acting coaches being a little bit like extra cunty. Can we say that on the podcast?
You can.
But I kind of like it. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're not, you're like, are you even an acting coach? Like if you're not like putting me down and making me feel bad about myself, like are you even doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Have you had a specific like a comment or something that an acting coach has given you?
You don't want to talk about it, Ronnie.
I remember Joanna, when she was I wouldn't say that word, but she was like she was sharp in her, she had made sharp-edged comments, and I remember I would go to Chipotle right after sometimes just because I needed to eat my feelings about how poorly I thought something went.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, okay. So I will tell you, I've only taken a few acting classes, like a handful of them. And one of the classes that I was in, I was like very, very green, very new. And I did this scene. It was a scene from, okay, my brain just, Meg Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
It was an emotional scene, and I really put my emotion to it.
Whoa, folks, you guys can't tell, but we do have a dog this game. Oh my God, the emotions. All right, that's right. You're exactly right. That's exactly what we're going for. Folks.
Surprise dog. What else do we have?
This is a little bit, we were doing this. Look out for that mic cord. Look out for the mic cord.
This poor thing oh my God.
Oh, wow, that was incredible. See, like in Maury Povich.
What a beautiful cap.
This is a little bit like You're Not the Father scene. Like, oh, we actually have someone in our guest.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm like, what else? Like, there's going to be something coming out from under the, and just have pop-up animals.
I wonder if it has changed the angle of this camera setup, but who knows? Listen,
you know what? It might just be on your perfect angle again for your teacher there. Maybe Tim set you up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I put the scene on. And then all this instructor did was he goes, "I don't believe you," and I was like, "Oh God.
Oh my God.
I don't believe you. That is the meanest thing anybody's ever said to me after I poured my soul into a scene.
Wow.
It's I thought I was
Yeah.
conveying the emotion because I don't really know that I know how to act.
Yeah.
But I know how to let myself feel in front of people.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So like I'll access the emotion of the scene and then just like go home and cry about it later sometimes, which is true. Like I just kind of go through it. And so when I was doing the scene, I was like sad.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, I don't believe you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to do this anymore.
What do you think that is? What like just like an acting question, because you have more acting experience than I do. I mean, I do remember when you got cast in Law and Order Canada. What was that? Law and Order Toronto. How do you like? Sometimes I'll be acting and I'm like, I feel all the emotions, but it's like then I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, I was just like dead eyed and there was nothing there. So like, what is it? I was like, I was going through all the emotions, but it doesn't look like I am at all.
Right. I think that there is like a little bit of, that's the work that acting is trying to be able to allow yourself to like authentically express what you're feeling. I mean, and so like that, when you know you're being watched as a human, like we just automatically like we'll tense up, we'll become more conscious of our expressions of what we're giving away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like, especially when it comes to emotion, because like, think about what it is in real life. Like when you're going through something, you're trying to hide it. True. That's our defense mechanism. That's how right. So it's allowing yourself to actually like surrender to it in a way, I think, but I really don't know. I'm not it's hard because, what's hard, Ronnie, is because I'm a natural. You know what I mean? So it's like really hard to explain to people how to do things when it comes so easily.
Yes, I understand.
It's like the cockiest thing I've said today. But it's really, it's hard because I've been asked to teach acting and I'm like, I don't know if I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I really don't know if I know that I could teach because I'm still just figuring it out.
Right. Well, yeah. I know you taught a one-woman show.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So, I mean, first off, our guest, Aliya Kanani, she's a Canadian comedian, and she's toured around the world, former flight attendant, and now world-renowned comedian.
Yeah.
And when you do so you came through, did you come into comedy through the Fringe, or were you doing stand-up first and then you got into like doing like one-woman shows?
I got into comedy with a group on.
Oh.
Yeah. I legitimately was like, I had no aspirations of being a comedian, never crossed my radar, never thought about it.
Yeah.
I was a flight attendant. It's a very long story, but I'll give you the cliff note. Basically, I was grounded for about a year. I wasn't.
By your parents?
No. So
sorry,
I don't have
was
those.
Right there. No. Shut the fuck up, Tim. Tim just gave me a look. You guys can't tell, but Tim, he's supposed to give me like confidence and stuff. But the way he looked at me just now, I'm gonna be thinking about that. That's the new Joanna.
We call it cut eye.
Yes,
it was a cut eye.
Yeah.
Heavy judgment.
Sorry, just adding a little levity here. Trying to do a professional podcast. We're not having someone's fucking dog just coming in the middle of it.
What else is going to pop up? Honestly, I really want to. I think that should be part of the bit. You know what I mean? Like there should be like just like a gerbil just runs across the fucking. Yeah. So I basically like I wasn't flying as much because there was somebody that was very close to me that wasn't well. So I was flying as a flight attendant, but I wasn't traveling anymore because I was staying close to home to be able to be there. But I also started going very stir crazy because at this point I'd been a flight attendant for about 7 years and I was constantly like, I would work a bunch, I would travel a bunch, I would work a bunch, I would travel a bunch. So I was never still. And so I started getting antsy. And so I signed up for Groupon to be able to take like random classes and stuff, like yoga, Zumba, whatever I could, you know what I mean? Do just to kind of keep myself busy, get out the house a little bit and do things because I was never used to being in the city for prolonged periods of time. And then into my inbox came this like comedy writing class by Second City and it was 50% off. And I'm like, okay, that's a really good deal, And I signed up for it because I was like, oh, let me just go and be creative. I used to like this when I was younger. Like I used to write stories and write poems and I just liked it. And I used to just do it for fun. Like I'd wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and just like scribble a poem down and then go back to sleep. Never thought about it as like, I'm a creative, because that just wasn't in my realm of options, right?
Yeah.
And so I just signed up for it for fun. And then I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, what? And so I started with sketch comedy writing. And then I, after taking a bunch of classes, because I was enjoying them, I was about to graduate the program, and people were like, what's next? And I'm like, nothing. I'm a flight attendant. This was just for fun. And they're like, no, you should really keep going. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Like, my family's better now, and I'm going to just go back to traveling the world for like no money. You know what I mean? Because I get to like fly to Paris for $50. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm living my best life. What am I going to do? But then I went to an open mic one day, and that's when I was like, oh God, I'm stuck. I'm in love. And then I gave up everything.
Yeah.
I just gave it all up. My flight pass is gone. Job security gone. My beautiful 1-bedroom apartment with a den, gone. It had a dishwasher, bro.
Oh man.
It was so nice. Now I wash dishes by hand like a peasant.
Yeah, that's tough.
But I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Of course.
I love it. But yeah, so yeah, it's a very roundabout way that I got into comedy, like super, super accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Pittsburgh, and we became roommates, became super fast friends, and the rest is history. So it's been cool getting to know you. Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No.
Didn't even finish my coffee. I'm like, okay, he just shoos
quick.
me out. He's like, she's not a real comedian. She's a Groupon comedian. I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Well, I know you had the heart out. So
You realize we're not bargain artists here.
no, that's awesome. That's interesting. We're starting to get more and more people reaching out about the podcast and stuff, and we just wanted to give a shout out to Joshua in Louisiana. Oh. He works at a prison, and on the way over there, he listens to the Skullet podcast. So you want to give a little shout out to this. Also, he's also growing a skullet.
Ooh,
isn't that fun?
Joshua, well done. You should send pictures of the skullet.
Yeah, we would like to see,
yeah.
Josh, please, we would like to see the growth.
Yeah, of the skullet.
Yeah.
Just anytime I ask for photos, I'm very specific what kind of photos.
Oh yeah, please don't do that, Josh. So far we like you, but you never know.
He works at a prison, eh?
That's what he said.
What does he do at the prison?
I think he just rattles. I have no idea what he does there.
Security.
I can't even.
Food services, fluffer. Like, what is it?
We don't know. I don't even want to speculate. But we appreciate he's going to get a Skullet sticker. Also, here's a Skullet sticker.
Oh my God. This is, the thing that you always, like, you never knew you needed.
Yeah.
But then when you get it, you're like, now.
Exactly.
This feels complete. Yeah. I love it. Actually, you know what? I've got your I Steal Amazon Packages sticker on my old computer. And
nice.
I was very sad because I'm changing my laptop. And girls upgrading to a 2020.
How about that? Good for you. Yeah.
I'm like, I got a new computer. It's a 2020. But I needed a sticker from you. So voila.
Sticker.
There we go. Thank you.
Of course. So, and how did you get into like the one-woman shows?
Oh, that's a whole, I keep on saying this, and I'm like, maybe this is the name of a show one day, but I keep on saying, I feel like so much of what I do is like accidentally on purpose. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I really like, I'm not like going after things, but I kind of am. So I met a buddy of mine in Montreal the first year I was doing JFL, which was when I was quite new actually to comedy. And I was there and I met him in Montreal, and then sorry, I'm getting things mixed up. And I just burped a little into the mic. I'm so sorry. That's so gross. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It just happened. It just like, that's the coffee.
That's been Aliya Kanani, everybody. So sorry.
I'll redact it.
All right.
Oh God. Don't redact it. Fucking blow it up, bro. Slow it down.
Suck it back in. How many noises can we make on this?
It's not my fault. The dog, and I got all, I'm just blaming Tim.
The coffee and the dog.
The coffee and the dog, Tim. What the fuck, Tim? Get it together. Is there any way to treat your guests? You got me burping. Okay, so what did I? Oh yes, I met a buddy of mine. He's from Australia.
Yeah,
and we were just having a chit chat, you know what I mean? Really cool guy. And I was like, yo, when you come to Toronto, link me up. And then we ended up bumping into each other actually in Toronto the first day that he got there. And then we just hit it off. And he goes, you know, Aliya, he says, things are tough in Canada out here. Y'all don't really get paid as comedians. And I'm like, yeah, we really don't, unfortunately. Like, you can't really make a living as a comedian. And he goes, well, you should come check it out in Australia because the scene there actually pays better. And I think you do really well out there. And I was like, oh, sick, cool. And he's like, if you want, come open for me for the Melbourne Festival. He goes, to be honest, I can't pay you enough to make it worth your while. But if you can get your way over there, he says, I can try and, you know, like help you get on my show. Then you might be able to get some more spots and set yourself up for maybe coming out, you know, the following year with more of a, you know, profitable tour. I was like, I sick bet. So I went out there. I actually, I was like, how am I going to make this work? And then I got a friend of mine to sign up for a credit card. Life hack, folks. If you ever want to get somewhere and you don't have money, find somebody who has money and ask them to sign up for a credit card for you, and then get them to collect the points for signing up for the credit card, and then transfer it to you, and then you can book yourself a flight.
Interesting.
On points for free. Just, you know, just what I did was I was like, yo, I found this credit card that's like giving away 20,000 points. I think it was more actually. If you sign up, and they waive the annual fee for the first year. So if you can sign up for it, then after 3 months, once they give you the points, I will remind you to cancel it. Right. And so you don't have to do any work on remembering or nothing. You just got to, you know, fill out the form. And so they did it. So I got the points. I flew to Australia. And then I did the shows out there. And this is the thing. Yeah. Is because I was a very new comic, but because I started when I was older, people assumed I'd been doing it for longer. And because I was good, people assumed I'd been doing it for longer. But you know, in comedy, here's the thing, like you have a tight 10 minutes, but that might be all you have, which literally was all I had. I had a really good 10 minutes. So I'd go there and I'd crush showcases, right? 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, crush it. And people be like, yo, who's this chick from Canada? I'd be like, yeah, do my thing. They'd be like, how long you been doing comedy for? And I'd be like, before you were born. You know what I mean? I'd be like, just like avoiding the question. So everybody assumed I'd been doing it for longer. And then they were like, oh, you should come back next year with your own show. You should come back next year. And these guys that I met were even like, yo, we'll help you like produce, like we'll sign on as your producer so that you can get into the festival because it's hard to get in. At the end of the day, you still have to apply and blah, blah, blah for Melbourne. So I was like, cool. And I applied for Melbourne. And then I guess they must have asked around and heard from other producers because I'd done a bunch of shows out there that they'd heard that, yeah, Aliya's good. Yeah, sign her up. And so I went to go do this show. They gave me a 50-minute time slot and I had 25 good minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, well, if I'm going to fail, I might as well fail in Melbourne where nobody knows me.
Sure, yeah.
So I got somebody to open for me, Emo, opened for me. We had just met the year before. So he opened for me. So he did 8 minutes. Now I had 42 minutes. I had 25 minutes of material. So I had 17 minutes to fill in.
Yeah.
And so I did a Q&A in the middle of my show.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you can ask me anything except for where I'm from, because the show's called Where You From.
Right.
And so then people would ask me like people would always ask the same questions. Do you know what I mean? It's very predictable. So what ended up happening is I ended up workshopping material, but everybody's thinking I'm just improvising on the fly.
That makes sense.
And I'm building a show on stage.
Interesting.
So I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was very accidental, but I also on purpose, because I was like, yeah, let's just go for it and fucking figure it out. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, from there, I realized that there was a way to make income as such a new comedian and to also grow as a comedian by giving myself stage time. If I was able to take the risk of going out to these festivals and doing it myself, right? Where was I going to get an hour of stage time as a comedian 2 years in? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. That is a regular theme that I'm learning from doing the show. Just like the way that people kind of will find a way to not scheme per se, but just find a way to kind of like, I want to say not even cut corners, but just find a way to kind of, you know, get ahead in some different way.
Yeah,
or another,
yeah. Everybody got their own hustle. Do you know what I mean? And like you just got to find your way in. Some people, you know, I mean. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day and he's like, oh yeah, this person messaged me because they saw I was going to be in the city. And then they asked to open for me. And I'm like, do people really do that? And he was like, yeah, all the time. And I was like, I've never messaged anybody to ask to open for them. It just never occurred to me to ask, because I assume that everybody has their openers already. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And now I'm like, oh, maybe I should be messaging people and be like, hey, I saw you're in the city. Can I close for you?
Oh, that is nice. Yeah. Yeah. Ask the headliner to feature for you. It's pretty good. I don't think anybody's ever done that. Someone asked me to do that. I don't even know what I would say. I guess so. Sure. Why not? I mean, what? Well, total jujitsu move. I appreciate that about you.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically it. It was very much kind of things.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, and now you're moving to LA. What have you been up to? I haven't talked to you. I haven't seen you you travel all around the world constantly. And you said emo. You guys are in an international long distance relationship. He lives in Australia.
Yeah.
And you live in Canada. And now you're in Pittsburgh, moving to LA.
Yes.
What's your address for people listening?
Well, if they're providing me with healthcare, it's Toronto, Canada.
Very nice.
Yeah. You know what?
How do you make that work, I guess?
Just floating around all the time, or the relationship, or the long distance. Honestly, it's interesting. I think that it just takes a certain cut of a person as well. Do you know? Like it's interesting. I don't know how we make it work, to be honest. Like we tour around together. So he was just here for 3 months. We were together nonstop for 3 months, like really nonstop, you know, because we're even going to gigs together most of the time. Yeah. Right. And then he leaves, and all of a sudden I'm like just waking up alone, and it's strange. Right. But at the same time, like, you have to remember, like, I was a flight attendant before. My ex was a pilot. I'm sort of used to this idea of distance in a certain way, because we would go for 3, 4, 5 days without seeing each other. You know, it wasn't like extended periods like this. But I do need a little bit of like that anonymity, like that's not the right word. I'm not very good with
solitude.
Solitude. Yeah. Like I need a little bit of, space to go and just kind of like get lost on my own. Like I literally just spent a month driving from LA to Montana to Saskatoon and then back to LA by myself, like hiking and walking. And as much as I'm like a super talkative person and super, super social, I also really need that like reset time by myself. Yeah. And I like to exist in my own skin. Like I like to go get lost and talk to strangers a lot, and like really just be like when I say talk to strangers, like I'll sit there and I'll talk to somebody and just ask questions and get their whole life story from them, and they won't even know anything about me. And I love that. Like I love just being super, I guess that's why the word anonymity here is like super like anonymous almost, and just kind of like observing human beings, which is something I've kind of done in different ways my whole life. Like as a flight attendant, you get to observe people. Wow. Wow. Do you know what I mean? So that is kind of something I value. And so I think there is a little bit of perks of, I had a friend of mine say to me, she's like, Aliya, any relationship you're in is going to be a long distance relationship based on the way that you are. Right. Because I'm so nomadic. Right. And I constantly need to be bouncing around. It's just kind of part of the fabric of who I am because of how I grew up. So I think that it is very much like, it's not necessarily anybody could do this. Right. But on the other hand, it's like not everybody could do a 9-to-5 job. Not everybody could do the job of a night shift worker. Not everybody could, so we all kind of have our own rhythms. Yeah. And so strangely enough, I think being in a long distance relationship is kind of a little bit in my rhythm, Yeah. But it sucks because it's too far. It's too far. Do you know what I mean? Like I wish like it was, in the same country, yeah, or like not like a 12-hour time difference, like literally, like if you put a pin through the world, he's on the other side, right? Like it's crazy. 3 flights. He lives in the most isolated city in the world, but he's moving to LA. Oh, get out of here. Oh wow, that's huge. Congratulations. Like now the question is like not will we survive the distance, will we survive being together? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or after 3 months, I'll be like, go back to Australia. I'm sick of you, fucker. I can't look at your face again. No, but it's. I'm excited about it. That's awesome. Really, I didn't know that. It's great. Yeah. It's a dog hair. I'm very. I thought so. I'm very excited for it. I think it's gonna be my hair. Who knows? Actually. Honestly, Ronnie, your long, luscious locks. These are too short. This is. Oh, you're right. Plus they're gray, I think. Some of these are gray, so I don't do that. But no, it is exciting, and I'm excited about moving to LA as well. Yeah. I kind of found like, I call it my destiny apartment because I found a really cheap spot by accident, which is just like, people wait around for years to find something like this, and it fell into my lap, and I'm like, oh my God, it's really,
That's incredible. We got to have me out there, Tim out there, the dog learn more.
Yeah,
I'm sure
no, honestly, listen, it's a bachelor, but we can make it work.
Yeah.
We can make it work for sure. Come visit, 100%.
Yeah.
I've also got, I didn't even tell you, Ronnie. Okay, so I bought, so when we were touring, Emo and I, we toured for about 3 months. We did Texas, and then we went to San Francisco, and then like San Jose and all this other places in the Bay Area, Sacramento. Then we went up to Edmonton in Alberta. Then we went to Calgary. Then we went to Vancouver, and we're doing all this. And I'm just getting so sick and tired of like logistics, like renting cars, finding places to stay, booking flights, showing up on these schedules. And I'm like, we're like passing all these places that like, I just want to see them. I just want to see them, and one thing is that I have always said, I really like, this about me. I'm a little bit hasty when it comes to like life is short. You know what I mean? You got to do things now because we could all be dead tomorrow. Right. And so when I was a flight attendant, I would fly around in Canada and the US, but I wouldn't see much of it, but I had this taste for it. But I kept saying, I've got these flight passes. If I can fly to Vietnam for, $100 round trip, I should be doing that. And I'll do the US and Canada when I don't have flight passes anymore. Mm-hmm. So it kind of was already in the back of my brain. And now we're traveling all these places and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm looking out the airplane window and I'm like, I'm not going to see any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I was in Vancouver, I bought myself this minivan. So I was like looking into camper vans and all this stuff. The ones that were in my price range, the camper vans are way, way too old. And would have like broken down on the side of the road. I don't know anything about cars, not a good idea. And also there was like a little bit of a factor of like, I'm a woman alone by myself. I'm doing gigs. If somebody sees me then getting into a camper van, they're like, oh, she's sleeping in that thing, right? So there's a little bit of that. But then I found this minivan, which is so stealth. And there's like a bed. It's this guy built a bed into the back of this minivan and it pulls out. Huh. And you wouldn't even, it's like this old beat up looking van.
Really?
Right. So, I got this van, and that's when I drove from Vancouver to LA with Emo, and then he left. And then after that, for a month, I drove up all the way to Montana. I stopped in like Utah and all these great places, went hiking. These like magical in the fall. You can imagine the colors changing, which I kept like literally like a child. I'd be walking around going, wow. Oh my God, wow. Like I caught myself out loud because I was just so overwhelmed by the beauty and like just so aware that so many people don't get to see the fall colors. Like you just, so many countries don't experience that. It's just so stunning, right? It's like the most beautiful thing to see in nature when you're like walking around in the mountains and stuff. Anyways, so all that to say, I got to like really go and experience all these dope places. And now I got this van. I parked it up in LA. So when you come visit, you can also just sleep in my van.
Sleep in the van. That's like a couch. It's like a guest room. It's all. Yeah,
I have a guest room in the back. I'll be like, yo, listen, come up anytime you need. The door will be open. There's a bathroom. There's a kitchen. Sleep in the van. We good. I got all kinds of housing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really cool though, eh?
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'll when you come out there, I'll show it to you.
I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, I'm stoked about this van. I'm like, this is just the beginning now. You know what I mean? Now I can go and like tour all around. Like I'm going to Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Phoenix and feature. I don't know if Learn More told you. I'm going to go at the end of November.
Oh, nice.
So
you told me that.
Yeah, so I'm going to fly to LA from Toronto, grab my van, and then drive it to Phoenix.
And you guys are driving back, right?
Well, no, he's not going to be able to make it now. He has a thing that he has to do, so he won't be able to drive back with me, unfortunately, because that would have been really, really fun. But I've got some time, so I'm probably going to like wander around in Phoenix a little bit. I've been out there before, and it's
beautiful.
Gorgeous, like the Grand Canyon. I mean, like, what are you doing, right? So I'll probably wander for a couple of days and then slowly drive back. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
No, it's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So come to LA, come visit me.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last night we all went out to this Ethiopian restaurant, and I think that was actually a thing that I missed about you. So you and I, we were living together, like I said, and then I was like, you parted ways, you guys traveled, but I was like, I was I don't know if you knew this, but I was selling juices for a while, and I was selling juices at farmers markets.
Is juices code for something?
No, they're just delicious fresh pressed juices. They're cold pressed.
Like actual juices?
All organic water, no added water or sugar. All organic material.
When was this?
This was a few months ago.
When I was here?
No, you weren't here.
I'm like, bro. I'm like, how are you gonna deny me juices?
No. It was really nice. 111 Juices, check it out. But but there was a like one of my neighbors, one of the farmers markets, the other vendors, they were always like giving me food and stuff. They were just like, here you go, or whatever. And it was just like, I was like, I miss Aliya. That's what I thought, because you're always like making food and stuff, and you're very community oriented. So
Yeah.
it was like that. I think like when you left, that was kind of what was missed from kind of like our circle a little bit. I've noticed. I was just like, oh man, because like you throw a party, or like suddenly it's like, wow, I just been up. Now I'm up to 3 or 4 o'clock. We're all drinking and stuff, and I'm like, well, okay, my sleep schedule's all fucked up, but it was
it was a good time.
it was a good time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was nice to kind of like you come back and like, oh yeah, that presence is returned in a way. So it was really nice to see it for that.
Yeah, it was really. I was so with such last minute planning like that. I was so happy that it worked out that we could get together and break bread. It was really nice. It was really nice just to see everybody, especially with everything that's going on now with the changes and the evolution of what the scene here in Pittsburgh and stuff.
Sure,
I think it's so important that you all maintain this community, because it's like it's a really special thing, right? It's a really special thing, and there's so many wonderful people out here. I mean, I'll always come back here whenever I can. That's the thing, It's like when I go to a place and I stay for a while, then I just like fall in love with people, and I'm like, oh, I've got my friends or my family is here. You know what I mean? Like I want to come back and visit, which is really it's very nice to be able to do that. So I'll be back here again, and I'll make you all come and hang out with me
For sure. So you're on your way to Canada for our show tonight, yeah?
I'm driving back to Canada tonight. I've got a show tonight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's whatever. It's gonna be fine. I'll probably drive straight to the show at this point.
Okay.
Which is cool. And then I'm there for a few days, about a week almost.
Okay.
And then I go to LA and then Phoenix and then I might go back to Toronto, but I might also not, because I'm getting messages from these people that want to book me and pay me well enough that it's worthwhile for me to fly back to Toronto, except for they might be scamming me, I think.
Oh no.
Which is so disappointing, because I've already like mind spent the money.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I'm already like, oh, all right. Aliya's going to get some new socks with no holes in them. But
I signed up for a class action lawsuit, and I've been spending that money for a while. So I don't know. Something came in my my spam account, and they said that I'm eligible for this class action lawsuit. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Here's my email. I don't know. They wanted like my phone number, social security number, and stuff. So anyway, I think it should be coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
Photos of your ID, obviously standard
$5,000.
stuff.
Yeah. They needed pictures of my penis. It was very weird. I don't know why.
For $5,000 though, honestly, he's done it for less. Yo, look, I'm serious though. I think that they're scamming me. I should show you this stuff. Oh, see, they're messaging me now. Are you available
really?
now?
What are they saying? What is this company?
So they've been, look, I'll show you the latest. The latest thing is that they sent me was this, which I'm like, is that real?
The back of a check?
Right. And then the front of a check, I guess, is the other, but then there's like a link, and then it says it has to be like a e-deposit.
Do not. This is a scam.
It's a scam?
Yes.
These fucking people.
I'm so sorry.
I knew it.
They are a scam. They tried to get me too.
How? How do you know this?
It's Icon Entertainment or whatever. That's a scam.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because they tried to get me too.
Really?
Yes.
These actual people?
And then I did some searching, and I was like, what is this thing? And they
Stop it.
It is. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, but what about all the money that I already mind spent?
$3,500, folks. Please follow Aliya on Venmo.
we need to now. We need to raise some funds. Send them a dick pic. Come on,
right,
we're
I'll
raising
send it.
money. We're auctioning off.
Yeah.
I have spent way too much time talking to these people.
Did you? Yeah.
So much back and forth. They have my phone number. They have my email address.
That's fine.
They asked me for my bank.
Yes.
They asked me for where my bank is.
Yep.
They did not ask me for my banking information though.
Yeah.
So how do they scam me now?
I'm not totally sure, but I think it's like they send you the check and then it's like, it's a whole thing. So it's like,
Really, this exact icon?
yeah.
Hey, listen, icon scammers. At least do us the courtesy of changing the name of your scam fucking play so we can, you know what I mean? Not figure it out amongst each other and feel foolish on a live podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the Joshua? Go get some of the prison people to do something about this. God
Yeah.
damn it, Josh.
Josh will send a wiener pic probably. So
Probably.
I think we've asked enough time.
shout out Josh.
Poor Josh is never going to listen to this again, actually.
Sorry, Josh. We're comedians. You can't take us seriously.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for bursting your bubble like that, but I am really glad that we got that on camera.
Oh my God. I honestly send me the photo of my face, the disappointment, because I'm sure every muzzle just went, that's acting. See? Right?
nice.
That was the filters off.
Exactly. She's a natural, folks.
Natural.
So with all this traveling and stuff, have you been like, is anything you've been watching or reading recently, listening to any sort of piece of media or content that's really been kind of like moved you or been made any sort of impact?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really know how to explain this, but I don't really listen to anything or watch anything
Really?
at all, or go on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot of my time is either spent, like doing things or talking to people a lot, or just sort of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like I just kind of zone out for hours at a time sometimes. Like people are like, you're driving so much. You should listen to this podcast, listen to that podcast. And I have total intention to do that. But then I just like, I'll end up like driving and just like, but it's just kind of how my brain's always worked. And especially like, you know, like my shows, you know, I have 2 solo shows now. I've never written any of them. Like I don't write. It just all is in here. And then it just goes, and then I like come up with ideas and then I like rework them and then I like, you know, puzzle them together in like different orders and all that. And it just happens here. And sometimes it happens like when I don't intend it to, like I'm just like driving along and my brain is just like, right? So these are just noises I'm making. I'm like, my brain goes, and I'm like, this is not words, but I think you understand what I mean, right?
I do know what you mean, yeah.
So, but I did start listening to this one podcast, which is called like A Moment to Think.
Okay.
Because I told a friend of mine that I'm really trying to work on my time management, which is something that I've really struggled with my whole life. And it's probably, so I've started this, I've got this tradition for like my birthday. It used to be that I would go and see A Wonder of the World every year for my birthday, which sounds super bratty, but it's because I had flight passes. And I dreamed about it since I was a kid, seeing the wonders of the world. And not just like the classic 7, but there's like a bunch of wonders of the world that you can see, like natural wonders and, you know, all kinds of stuff. And so, you know, I grew up poor. So I was like, how am I going to do this? And then I became a flight attendant. And so it became a tradition of I'm going to go see A Wonder of the World every year for my birthday on my flight passes and blah, blah, blah. And then now I've started this tradition a couple of years ago where I'm like, okay, every year I'm going to look at one thing that's really getting in my way and stop that or fix it. Last year was smoking. And I've quit smoking. Yeah. So this year it's my time management that I'm like, this is what my attention has to be focused on. So a friend of mine suggested this book, A Moment to Think, which honestly, excellent. I haven't finished it, but it's an audio book that I downloaded. It's obviously a paper book too, but it's helpful for me to have it as an audiobook. And so I've been listening to it, but it's interesting because the whole book is talking about giving yourself spaces of time to do nothing and just allow your brain to process and think. And I'm like, oh, I already do this too much. You know, I already sit in the silence a lot, right? So, but yeah, so that's one.
Yeah. That counts?
Does that count?
Yeah, that totally counts. Yeah.
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 But aside from that, I don't really, I can't even think of that the last time I watched a show.
Well, what I've been doing, I would, like I'm doing that nerd night thing tonight.
Yeah.
I've been re-listening to this Tom Petty book, right? So my whole thing is
You were talking about Tom Petty
last night.
Well,
Yeah.
remind me who Tom Petty is because we never got to there. I think we got distracted.
He's a singer-songwriter.
But I know his name. What's his favorite songs?
He's got Free Fallin', I Won't Back Down, The Waiting, Mary Jane's Last
'Cause I'm
Dance.
free fall. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't sing. My voice cracked on the second word.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the song though.
So
I won't
basically the whole thing
punish
is,
your listeners.
So I've just been rereading that audiobook 2 times speed, but that's like the new Media Minute. Is what I've been listening to.
His book. He wrote a book.
It's about him. He's long dead now, but yeah,
It's not a biography.
It is.
Or it's a biography.
It is a biography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I think that I would really enjoy that because I always love talking to people, getting to know their stories. Logically, I think that people's bios and autobiographies and stuff I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I've never been a big reader. My ADHD and
Sure.
mild undiagnosed dyslexia probably, or I'm just dumb. I don't know. I just don't read good. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
But since I started the audiobooks, I've kind of enjoyed it because even when I zone out because somebody says a word that distracts me and I go into a
Sure.
la la land, I can just rewind it and it doesn't feel as punishing as turning the pages back or
Totally.
realizing I got lost in my train of thought or whatever. So maybe I should start doing or listening to. Maybe I'll download Tom Petty's.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
And then the next time I'm on here, we can talk about it.
Oh, you gotta do it. So good. He's there's this thing I totally missed out, but he took like LSD and then this huge like life changing moment that I forgot about. It's really nice.
That he forgot about?
I forgot about it, but I'm doing this whole presentation on him today. But I was like, oh yeah.
So tell me about this. What was
the acid trip?
Yeah.
Basically, he was in and out of bands for like a long time, and then he took this acid trip, and this girl he always had a crush on in school, like they had this super magical moment, and then as soon as like the next morning, she's like, that was just for one night or whatever, right? So she goes off, and he's totally heartbroken, and that night, or that's like, he looks back on that night, and he actually wrote the song called Even the Losers, which is like one of his bigger hits, is about that moment. But also, he had this realization that he's nothing if he's not in a band, and then after that, he became like the book says this, something along the lines of like, after that, another foreign substance entered his body, ambition. And from then on, he goes off to become the huge rock star that he was.
Prompted by LSD.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's do it.
The book or what?
LSD. Let's just
all right.
do it.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah. But
You work for Tom.
It worked for Tom. In Tom, I trust. So
You're too good to be like Tom.
I'm not. Believe me, I'm definitely not. How dare you? Okay. In this house, we listen to
Tim?
Tom Petty.
Bring over the LSD. I know you got it back there. Live on. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
You mentioned about reading and rereading. I was actually learning more when I was doing a gig, and he's like, "Hey, you want this?" So I took a little bit of his vape, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just reading. I got way too high, right? And he was just like, "Wow, you're really reading a lot." And I'm like, "No, I was like holding the book for like dear life for I was just really high for like 2 hours just staring at this book." You're like,
this is my shield.
This is help me.
I shall protect myself from conversation by pretending to be really enthusiastic about what's in front of me. That's really funny.
But I know you got to go, so we always end the podcast the same way. Of course, this is the Skullet podcast. I grew out this hair as a goof in the beginning. I saw this movie called Love Lies Bleeding, where Ed Harris, a bald icon, grew out his hair. He had a skullet in the movie. I'm like, I'm going to do that. And at first, it was just like a joke. But the more I grow out my hair, the more I see it as an act of rebellion. So I'm curious if there's anything in your life that maybe early on that, maybe your friends, family, loved ones were like, hey, Aliya, maybe you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But you're like, deep down, I got to.
Your comedy.
Comedy? Yeah? Comedy's your skullet?
They're like, you're a grown-ass woman. What do you mean you're going to try to be a comedian? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty funny, don't you think?
Uh-huh.
And they're like, we're laughing at you. And I'm like, right, that's laughing. That's, Okay, I will answer that seriously, but I have a question for you. An act of
Sure.
rebellion against who, what, or...
Good taste, possibly, but I think it's also, I don't know. I feel like when you lose your hair, there's just only so many options you can go down, right?
Right.
And it just sort of seems like, well, you just shave your head. This is what you do, or you kind of grow it out like to like the sides. And I was just like, no one's got a, it's a very small amount of the population of the bald population has just fuck it. Let's just go and let's fucking grow it out. Who gives a shit what other people think of us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that was just my like, fuck you. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna do it, and the amount of people that don't like it are vocal about it too. But I was just like, you know what? I don't care. Let's just go.
I really like it.
Thank you.
I think it suits you so well. I really like it. Yeah. And you're keeping it good. Like, you know what I mean? It looks very luscious. It looks very like well maintained and like, moisturized. You don't have like a dry, raggedy look to it. It's very nice.
As of 2 weeks ago, yeah. This is the new. I've just started styling.
Oh,
it.
good job. Okay,
you,
well, I'm
yeah.
glad I see it now because if it was 2 weeks ago, I might have been with the other people. I mean, in the no thank you side, but I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I said it jokingly, but comedy, but it is probably, but also everything. You know what I mean? Like all of, like I can't tell you how many times I've heard. I think that just the way that I am, it just goes very much against the rhythm of what people see as life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it shakes people a little to see that because, not to whatever, but I think that folks sometimes are like, well, I didn't know that was an option. You know what I mean? Or sometimes might even feel like you're questioning their decisions based on your decisions, which is weird. And not that it comes from a bad place. I just think that it's just a natural sort of defense that comes out. But like when I was a flight attendant, I've had a couple of my buddies who like work jobs that they're saving money and they're, like building to have like a family and a retirement and all this stuff. And they'd be like, Aliya, when are you going to like grow up? When are you going to take life seriously? When are you going to settle down? And then when I became a comedian, people were like, are you, like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like I had people be like, okay, so you tried it for a couple of years, maybe you want to get back to reality now. And I'm like, no. You can't just try being a comedian for a couple of years and think you're going to make it. Like, this is a long haul. Like, people say that it takes 10 years to break through. Like, what are you talking about? 2 years, I'm just going to give up, right? Even now, when I bought the van, I had one of my cousins be like, aren't you a little grown to be in a van? And I was like, aren't you a little grown to be telling other people what to fucking do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, right? Like, I don't know. So I think that probably most of what I do is an act of rebellion. I'm like a teenager who just doesn't want to listen to rules.
Yeah.
No, I'm too cool for school. Even that, like I'm uneducated. Didn't go to university, didn't do any of that stuff. So a lot of it is, I think. Are these acts of rebellion or is this just?
I don't know. Yeah. Right.
I don't mean it as rebellion. I just mean it as a way to be true to my own self and what I want.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the very like the awareness of like life is super short. We can all die. Do exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And I might regret it because I might be old and very poor and having to do things that I may not want to do because I didn't save up for my retirement. But I'll also have like all these really fun memories to look back at and hopefully like a community of people who will still love me, even if I'm,
Yeah. No,
Wow, that just made me sad. What is my life a rebellion or is it?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
Tim?
The definition is, the second definition that fits better is the action or process of resisting authority, control, or convention. So I think just like not being conventional itself is rebellion.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Right.
It means you're unique.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's now. What do we like? What do we think about the word unique? Is unique a good thing or a bad thing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's either or. But I feel like people always place unique as like unique is a good thing. But it's like, is it?
What do you, I think so. I don't know. Well, let's go to the semantics with Tim over here.
I think it's just like the authenticity of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the intention is not to be rebellious.
True.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not out here trying to be unique or rebellious. I'm just trying to do what makes me feel good.
If
Yeah. Facts. I think also it's just like it's really like just one of the reasons that I don't like go online a lot is my deep paranoia that I inherited from my father. But I feel like there's like a lot of brainwashing that we are aware of, you know what I mean? But then we like see it and then we just keep doing it. And you're like, and then we have these like values that are put on us, and the way that our mindset is like kind of like manipulated into thinking that we value certain things over other things. So then when people are not doing the stuff that like I'm doing, for example, like wandering around, and I don't think it's because they don't want to. I think it's because it's not been put in their minds as a viable or feasible option. Because, it doesn't, what I'm doing does not play into the system of capitalism and consumerism, right? It's not, I mean, it does, of course, because everything does. And I exist in this world and I have money in my pocket. Well, I don't anymore. I just lost money, but it was fake anyways. But you know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I don't know if my point is clear. I think that we should all rebel against the system, but I don't think we should see it as rebellion. I think we should see it as looking within and being our authentic selves.
Yeah.
So corny.
No, I like that. No, I think maybe we'll have to revise the skullet question, but
no, but I love your skullet. I love the fact that you're doing it and saying like fuck what anybody thinks.
Well, I feel like no matter what you do, even if it's like to be authentically yourself, there is a certain amount of like, I guess it's like rebellion so much as like, it's like you have to combat resistance in some ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether or not the resistance is coming from other places or just like, your what other people are thinking, or your fear of what other people are thinking. Or concept. Maybe no one cares at all, but you internalize certain things, I think. Yeah, totally.
But I mean, like Ronnie, like I think that a lot of what you do and the way that you not only like the life you have, but also like the way that you approach comedy and your perspective and all of it, like I said about myself, is like all rebellion when you think about it that way. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not fitting any kind of normal trajectory of
just a mold of what people expect you to be, type of thing.
Or what society hopes to make you into.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's I've gone through a strange trajectory for sure.
A strange change.
A strange change. Which, by the way, I'm 30 pages in. I got to send you the script, but I'm 30 pages into the strange change. You and I spoke at length before about my script about the body switch movie. Do you remember this?
Oh, yes. So good.
So when I was in the hot tub in Maryland, we spoke about that last night with my mother. Well, my mother was not in the hot tub; she was away. But
she was on the camera watching.
She was on the camera watching.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did we talk about that in the last podcast?
2 episodes.
Okay, but anyway,
are you not going to tell them?
They if you listen to 2 episodes ago, folks, we talked about the hot tub. I think we're wrapping up. We gotta get Aliya out of here, but. I did finish the first act of the script, but we're working to, act 2, of course, is difficult, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I just want to tell you that I've made some headway.
I'm
in
so
the strange
excited for
change, and once you get to LA, we are going to be casting.
Let's shoot it. I'm ready. Oh my God, I would be honored. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. Oh my God, strange change.
So, folks,
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Send me what you got. I want to read it.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Aliya, where can people find you?
I'm not sure because I'm not sure where I'm going to be. You can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Aliya Kanani, which I won't spell out. You'll have it somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And also, that's it. I have a TikTok account that I've not really used, but it's the same handle, Aliya Kanani, or my website, which I never update, aliyakanani.com. or catch me in Phoenix at the Improv.
There you go. Perfect. This has been the Skullet Podcast. Please, folks, we do, anybody that leaves a review, we'll send one of these Skullet stickers your way. And we do appreciate everybody for listening. This is the Skullet Podcast. Please follow me at Ron_Flem. And remember, folks, not all growth is good, but just keep it in the back of your head.
Oh, yeah.